Further discussion?
Mr. Mayor.
Councilmember Eden.
Thank you. For me, this issue before us, as Councilmember Hayner initially pointed out, isn't about affordable housing. It's a zoning decision. There are other resolutions on this agenda where we actually will discuss affordability in a meaningful way. We have to recall that affordability, as described in this PUD, is 50 or 60% of the average median income, which for a senior on a fixed income is actually a lot of money. That's a rather large retirement income. As a zoning issue, one of the things that we can legitimately consider is the land use master plan. And for me, this is inconsistent with that. And that's pretty significant to me. When we designed our master plan, it's not binding, but it certainly is a commitment to our residents that this is our vision of the neighborhood that you're buying into with your 30-year mortgage. And I feel a great sense of commitment when we look at rezoning decisions that are inconsistent with the master plan. This is also a matter for me of weighing the risks of tinkering with the Gelman plume. This isn't the same as just simply letting water fall on the surface of this property and soak into the ground. There will be considerable impermeable surface here, and the infiltration system is more of a flushing than a simple soaking in. And that really does create a great degree of uncertainty as to what impact that will have on the plume. And that's not a risk that I'm willing to take. I trust our good friend Roger Rail because he's been watching this plume for decades. And when he says that this uncertainty should concern us, it concerns me. And I thank him for all of the work he's put in on this. I'm also concerned about the environmental impact that having a large parking lot that close to a sensitive wetland and lake will have. A developer, while they're here, can make promises to us about not using salt or whatever other promises, but we don't really have any way to enforce that once it's built. So I'm very concerned about the impact that this project would have on the wetlands there. Another concern I have is that this project really doesn't include enough parking. This fiction that people over 55, which includes me, don't drive or won't have a car is unrealistic, to say the least. There's 64 spaces for all of these apartments. Their visitors, the deliveries, the commercial use that goes on here, that's impractical. Situating this particular project on Jackson Avenue, we've heard again and again, this is a transit line. Well, I challenge you to go out there and leave this property and cross Jackson, the boulevard, and then Jackson again to catch an outbound bus to Meyer, the closest grocery store. You're taking your life in your own hands. So this is not really a practical alternative to driving. You're out there on Jackson Avenue playing in traffic. The fact is that we're probably going to see the overflow parking in the neighborhoods surrounding this because this project doesn't provide enough. And that's not an impact that a neighborhood should have to take. I would note that elsewhere on this agenda, there is a request for downzoning in another Fifth Ward neighborhood. So we're going to go from a zoning district that would allow density to one that's single family. And I'm going to support that because it's consistent with the master plan, not because I think a near downtown neighborhood should avoid density. I think that's probably a more appropriate place for density, but it's consistent with the master plan, so I will follow that. And I would follow up to say that we did miss an opportunity for 96 units of affordable housing in Lower Town when we didn't insist that that developer bring that site plan as a PUD. And so to suggest that this 41 units of affordable housing is going to solve our affordability problem when we in the past have passed up opportunities to insist on affordability. The Core Spaces project, we calculated the size of that lot to include Library Lane so that they wouldn't have to provide as many affordable housing units. Again and again, we are willing to bend over backwards to allow a developer an escape from what we could require of them. And then to come back and suggest that this neighborhood is somehow narrow-minded because they're not willing to take the impact of our desire for more affordable housing is just the wrong discussion to have. So I'll be voting against this. Thank you.